During that strike, I don't know how many of his professors Japa.
There are a lot of lecturers that have actually left the country.
My guy project so Japa.
Let's not laugh. It's actually not funny.
Welcome to another episode of Japa Chronicles. We have now recorded a couple of episodes, but this is the Easter special. This is the Easter special. This one is exciting. This one has an element of life and death. You know what I mean? This is the reason episode. Today I have my partners in crime.
Hi.
Okay, Eunice talked first today. Eunice is trying to
she's
taking your seat today. She's really doing everything.
I'm in Isaac's vibe today.
Wow. And Isaac seems the one that is
Stop, I'm shy.
I woke up like this.
She even has the Nike's giving today.
But you cannot see it.
Just raise your leg, just
That will not be appropriate.
That will not be appropriate.
Oh, apologies.
So we have Eunice, my partner in crime, and we have Isaac.
I feel like my second name would have to, alias has to come in at some point.
Medici. Yeah, that's his alias.
Yeah.
And I'm Oladipupo. He will talk to us about that at that time. But I think it's a movie thing.
I got it from a book.
Yeah.
I got it from a book.
He's an artist. Again, we know that Isaac is a man of many things.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for
welcome to our Easter special. There's a lot to talk about.
Second name,
Oh yeah, my name again is Oladipo Adewale. I'm the king of Japa. I'm the king of Japa. We have other friends in the studio today, but you can't see them. But Okwe will be fact checking for us today, because I know that Eunice has a lot of facts today. We have to, Peter, we have set a standard. You cannot see anything and not verify. So
my facts are verified.
So if you see anything,
they are very well verified.
Source, you tell us your source.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot to talk about today. We are talking about, I don't even know where we want to start from. Let's start with Easter though. Yeah, should we start with Eunice? We know what Eunice did this Easter. I won't say it was boring, but it was long.
It was actually long. When she told me before Easter, when she told me that this was
plan, I even thought I thought she was going to end on Sunday. So Eunice on Monday will come out and all that.
I was serving the Lord.
Yeah. So Eunice, if you have read Luke 24 or Mark 15, Eunice is Mary Magdalene. Funny enough, it's not that we can't promote her business on this page. Eunice sells perfume, so Mary Magdalene really just
actually,
I didn't plan it, but I guess if they DM just buy your perfume, we can discuss. So Isaac, what was your weekend about? Because we already know what she did.
My weekend was walk.
Okay.
Walk.
Team lead.
My team lead. My weekend was walk. My weekend was. So I went out once.
Okay.
Okay, my sister's birthday was this weekend, so it was like a family thing. My sister always brought us to come and do all the TikTok challenges in this world.
Wow.
We're just doing everything.
Definitely.
Where do we check?
No, it's not coming out. I'll make sure it doesn't come out.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was.
But me and we watch football and whatnot now.
Yeah, I won this weekend. I won my game this weekend. I was happy to watch my game this weekend. Some people didn't win.
We don't have to go into that.
Some people didn't win this weekend.
Isaac,
some people have not won. Some people have not won like 100 games. Some people have used 3 coaches in one season.
Being a Chelsea fan right now is stressful. I'm supporting Sporting Lagos now. I'm Sporting FC Lagos. Being a Chelsea fan right now is really stressful. It was an interesting weekend for me. Well, not so interesting. It was interesting that I actually stayed home. I think I went out a couple of times to ride a couple of hours, came back in the morning, stayed with the family. Friday, Saturday, went to church on Sunday. It was really chilled. But man, by Sunday, my body was scratching me. I missed work.
What? I haven't even spoken about my own time. You people went ahead to speak about it for me.
We know what you did.
We know what you did. There's no point. But your department knows now. You guys felt me now. You saw all my messages on the group.
Yes, so it's all like, don't you take breaks?
What are you saying? You worked every day of this weekend.
Okay, no.
You were sending groups.
So that was light.
You were sending messages.
That was
middle of the night.
That was work light, not work max. That was work light.
So people sent me a message like 11 p.m. Alright.
I was bored. By Sunday, I was telling them on the group like.
Yeah, you called me on Saturday.
I was bored.
You called me on Saturday and said you were bored.
I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if it's consistency, but I didn't even. Well, I reflected on the whole. Life and death, Jesus and all that. And but after a while, by Sunday, I was missing work. I don't know that's a good thing. I don't know. But I mean, you don't become the best at something if you do not love work. True, right? Sure. It's not a good thing, guys. I mean, my friends I visited them, I think, was it Sunday? Okay, so he came to watch Arsenal Liverpool in the house, and he was like, even so, went on vacation in December. I was like, even vacation, you can't even give us 2 days Japa in your laptop. Because I remember I was saying, I said I was going to use my laptop for that vacation. No? Every time we enter our room,
Sadipo thinks and says that I'm a workaholic, but he's.
Sadipo is a serious workaholic.
He works and he's always on more than necessary.
But I mean, you need to. I think at this stage. I mean, this is the stage where you have to do all these things. So I'm trying
to retire at 50, guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you can 50 is too.
No.
It's too far.
It's too far now.
By 50, I'll retire from work. Maybe I'll focus on Nigeria full time. You know that.
So you want to be one of those old politicians?
No, 50.
He's old now.
50 is not old now.
50 is like wise
it's just
years.
that you'll be doing
50 is like
doing old people's things.
Years.
And they have been governors from like that.
Let's not.
No, I feel like you should consider.
Also, you need to tell us what you did this weekend aside from going to church.
So aside from going to church.
And collating data.
I don't think there's. Sadipo, why you pinching me?
You were collating data yesterday. We were in meetings yesterday. So you joined. I'm in church. I'm collating data. So what else did you do?
Guy, you're not serious.
I heard that the population commission is recruiting ad hoc staff. And we have a plug here.
So basically, I was in church all weekend from Thursday, but I was late to Thursday. On my way to church, I saw people coming back.
So you know what you're
serious.
Should we, so that since she went to and we didn't go to church, should we now ask Alpha what's going to say about Japa? What
about Japa?
Do we have a word?
Japa Limited.
Okay, so like what's the word for us?
The word was for resurrection. So Japa needs to be resurrected in the places where it has been dead.
Are you speaking like Germany, Finland?
Remember I asked you some things before we started.
That's interesting, Pastor.
Let's come alive.
Thank God we allowed her to talk. Let's come alive. Please, but we're not talking about that today, but that's nice. Those countries, please, I beg, because I've actually, for some reason, I've been thinking of Denmark, Finland. I think I saw last week that Finland was, again, I think for the 6th or 7th straight year, they're the happiest country to live in. So yeah, there are some countries that we do. I mean, Belgium, since COVID, Europe has really not been much of our focus because, I mean, it's been difficult. They've closed down and clamped down in this administration. Nigerians have not really done, fantastic and all that. So, all right. So let's dive into it. I mean, let's start with what is, the reason why we are recording today. So the Japa syndrome, right? Everybody is talking about. I want Japa, and now the government and the media is now into it. I saw channels have a segment on Japa syndrome and the statistics. Then, of course, what has been trending for the last couple of days, the bill that passed the second reading for.
It's passed the second reading now.
Yeah, it passed the second reading. That's why it's when first reading people know the year, and second reading and I started seeing. I'm like, wow.
Are you really taking this serious?
So I don't know. That's really where
it has potentials.
So everybody's talking about brain drain and whatnot. So where do we start from? What do you think about the bill? Have you looked at?
So I maybe I'll just jump and then. We'll talk about the bill later. But
okay.
Brain drain is not something that we're hearing for the first time. Like people have been talking about brain drain for like, let's say since I left uni. For me, so
do you want to tell us while Isaac's talking, what does brain drain mean? Because I'm about to talk about comparative education. I know we talked about that on the podcast, but let me allow you finish because I must help people to sort of see the difference between what brain drain and comparative education.
But bringing in comparative, like it's very much much. But brain drain is the way Nigeria is now. When people Japa, nobody's planning on coming back to use the knowledge that. Let me not spoil people's.
No, that's not but no, that's not accurate because I would ask you what your statistic is because in my school today, Dr. Obi is always saying, "In God we trust." Everybody bring your data. What's the data? What's the data of people that go abroad and don't come back?
On the spot. But I feel like true, quite alright. Valid. Yeah. You understand? But
what are you seeing brain drain as? What really is brain? Like, what's this issue of brain drain right now?
I've worked in places before, and I've seen people leave, and then how much it has affected those places.
Mm.
And me, I have friends that have left and clearly do not have plans to come back.
Yeah.
And I know the qualities they have in the spaces they were before they left Nigeria, and I know how much it has affected. So that's brain drain for me. We're losing talent in Nigeria because people are really living and not coming. I know what people who have left are now doing. In my set from CU, and half of a particular department, I'm not even joking. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan and Chase. I'm not like, wherever me and my friends have this conversation, like, did somebody plug them? Because they're like all the major fintech companies in the US.
I mean, we're not doing an ad for CU, even though if this trend, CU needs to pay my money. But the reality is that, I told you guys on that episode, I said, I didn't get to go to CU because I didn't feel it was a fit for me. And I know I went to where God wanted me to go to. I went to Leeds City. But Papa and the team they've really done a great job with how they have built the system and what the world perceives CU as today. And I want to believe that right now, universities abroad see CU as one of the best in Africa.
Definitely.
And they have consistently done that. So it's not expected, if you get what I mean.
The branding is there.
Yeah. And I mean, having a church behind that really does help. So, but, we won't talk about research and the opportunities because, again, people forget that Harvard is number one largely because of, like, if you check the stat right now, Harvard has, like, billions of dollars. I don't know if it's 110. I need to verify. Okay, can you help me check? Harvard has commitments for the next 10 years in, like, hundreds of billions of dollars. That's why they're the best. Because they can get the best students to always come into their schools and they can do the best research. Same with MIT. So, what do you think, Eunice? What's your thought on brain drain and the impact on the country?
Well, like you just
I think I should also ask, should you want to leave, you as a person, if you wanted to leave, are you under this microscope of what Isaac is saying that you want to just go and Japa, or are you with me on comparative education that, okay, and I've been saying what is really comparative education is you go to another country, you learn what they have been doing, when you bring it back to, I mean, I know that our government is not helping, but that's how I see it. What's your thought on that?
Well, for me, if people don't know, my personality does not clash with what I'm supposed to do. Because what I'm supposed to do is God-given. So for me personally, I would like to go and come back because that's what I see myself doing.
Yeah.
But for most people, it's because naturally, those people that just want a better life and they feel like Nigeria is not going to give them that, they are the ones who go with the mindset of, let me go and not come back. Yeah. Some people even want to go through visiting visa route, and then some people want to go through a lot of illegal routes. Yeah. And they just want to Japa. Yeah. But people who understand the place of giving back, we want to go and come back. Or people who know that that's not really
the focus of the
focus, yes, to just go and go. They will go and come back. Or they can go stay, whatever. Whichever one.
Sorry. So you've been in the business for quite some time now. How many of your people have come back? Are you asking me about statistics? We know. Do you understand? We know.
So if you brag about one now, at least one. It's not why I'm back in Nigeria.
So, you got me there. The reality is that a lot of my people that go, they only come back for holidays. They come, they see their family. Nobody really is interested in coming back. And yes, Mayawa has come back. But Mayawa now, again, maybe like Eunice has that same fabric of wanting to help Nigeria. And the reality is that, unlike other people, Mayawa, like brothers, we sort of have been together since secondary school. So he doesn't really even count because he did his own things himself. But what I would say is that, can we also be realistic about what I get you're saying as brain drain is equal to like a failed system? What is comparative education is a working system, because for brain drain, it's that you don't want to come back because it's not that you're better than people that are even here. It's that what you have and what you've learned, you can't come implement here. I've heard so many stories, even in Fashila's administration, who is probably one of the performing governors that we've had in Lagos, where he brought in people from other countries to come and just work in his government, and the civil servants were sort of the ones not helping helping out. So
was
that's
the one
really,
that brought medical doctors?
yes, exactly, things like that. And Fashola also, as a governor, I know did a lot of scholarships both here and abroad. So we've had some people with good intentions, but then the system itself is rigged to sort of stifle, what is supposed to be competitive education.
Yeah.
And that's really the problem.
And then most people don't want to go outside, get all of this what do you call it? Knowledge and all that, and then come back here and to be underpaid, under-recognized.
That's
another issue.
So Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, those are banks, right?
Yeah.
Let's be realistic now. Me and you bank in Nigeria. Our banks are terrible.
Fact. We don't even fact check that one. We all know.
And I mean, it seems harsh, but the reality is that it's the system. Because even the banks that you want to, so I think there are 3 international banks in Nigeria that probably work well. Even those banks have to employ Nigerians. So at some point, you still have those same frustrations with them. I saw our banks handle this whole Naira scarcity. People can't think. It wasn't that difficult. We don't have money, right? And people are suffering. And when you have money, you're either putting it through the back door for people that don't deserve it, or you just don't know how to handle the crowd. When we're looking for money, I focused on one bank, and I will always be begging them that, look, I don't need money for anything. I mean, by God's grace, I have a car, right? But then there are people in my circle who need money for transport from A to B to C. So can you give us cash? And we had that going. But I wasn't going to collect 100,000 naira for me to go and spend doing something that did not make any sense. So the system itself is not working. And the reality is that private enterprises like banks, they are actually the ones that can set a standard, because even though the CBN is a government parastatal, the CBN needs the banks. So if all the banks had a common goal of doing the right thing, the CBN will not have a choice. Emefiele is a former DMD or I don't even know if he became the MD of Zenith Bank. I've known him for years. So all of a sudden now you have a CBN governor that people do not like, who is not performing. Sanusi, the former one, was First Bank. So it's not like they are bringing people from the system. It's not one of those things where maybe Eunice is a politician's friend.
You're not bringing.
No, they actually bring people in the system. So and that's really what I'm saying about that.
Speaking about brain drain and banks, this whole Naira scarcity for me exposed the flaws in the Nigerian banking system.
Yeah.
Although I had seen it since, but it's just like there's no cash. So basically, throughout December, January, ran like cashless policy. Yeah. And
I must also add good policy, bad implementation. Great policy and bad implementation.
Yeah. So it was bad implementation in any way because firstly, timing. Secondly, we do not have the systems to accommodate to adapt to all that. For example, the bank I've used them for say 2-3 years. I've never had issues. But in December, they couldn't handle. They didn't have the capacity to hold. And it's crazy because you've existed for years. Baba, you should have prepared for time like this.
You know that every celebrity or any popular tweet on Twitter that has a lot of traction, what do you see people going on that? Maybe only my bank. And I mean, I'm not going to plug any bank here, but the popular banks always have those edits.
I tagged one bank too and they responded.
They reply immediately.
Eunice, I'm sorry.
He's always upset.
When I saw everybody talking, I said.
And the reality is that what is terrible for us is simply also that we are educated and we know the standard can be better. That's really what it is. So it's not like they are just terrible, right? It's a strong word to use. But the reality is that we know they can be better. There are some banks that only employ first class 2-1 graduates from certain schools.
That's changed.
That has not changed.
That's another brain drain.
I have a friend that works with one bank. I won't say their name.
Yes.
She did biochemistry.
Even one bank is even a plug.
Mr. Dipo. She did biochemistry. She has no idea of tech.
It has been for ages.
They just employed her,
trained her
1 month and a half, and they put her in IT department.
But they've been doing that for them in banks.
No, at least
there are banks,
you should have an idea.
There are banks
that are going into do.
Anyways, that one is IT, so that's not expected. But banks for years, in fact, going into uni, we hear people say, even if I study,
you end up in bank.
I go still work for bank.
Yeah, you end up in bank. So
Well,
it's not really
that has been a thing for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean
been-
for IT department,
but for
that's
IT,
specific
that's different.
because in this time and age,
But let me tell you what happened last year.
I remember when Z Bank lost like all their technical and all their app wasn't working.
Yeah.
are you serious?
There was a time last year, a lot of tech people were leaving the country.
I'm not calling anybody names. You don't deserve to be like podcast.
There was a time last year that a lot of people, especially in the tech world, were leaving the country. And there was also a time for bankers. There was a month. I don't know whether it was November, October.
Let me plug this
A
in.
lot of bankers were leaving.
My Japa Limited has a plug for US. Are you a tech bro? You earn a certain good amount of money in Nigeria. I can get you into the US if you are tired of Nigeria.
We can go
We are
later.
not part of the brain drain. It's just that if the system is not working, go
We
make
help
money.
you to move to where
And
it's
you know,
working.
While we're on that, the reality, Isaac, is also that we are too many people in Nigeria for brain drain to currently be a problem. The problem is that companies don't want to invest in people.
Fact.
So brain
The
drain.
government doesn't want to invest in
Brain
people.
drain has so many things that we can sort of look at. And that is that the government doesn't want to invest in people. The private companies think it's not their, like you've gone to school. Let me just take you through a small business program or whatever to fit into that department. So you have so many people who don't have jobs. So you're losing people. So just do a lot of empowerment, a lot of training people, and we'll be fine. If we say we're almost 200 million people, and I think we're going to have a census in a couple of weeks if they do not, again, postpone it. But you will realize that we have so many young adults who do not have jobs. So I don't think that it's valid to even be holding on to brain drain right now. We need those people to go. That's the reality. And we will still need them to come back and to support us in one way or the other.
Now that is the issue. The issue is not people going. The issue is them not coming back.
Yeah.
And is there a system that will make them want to come back?
Nope.
Eunice said, "Oh, she
loves Nigeria.
She's the kind of person that will go and want to come back." Me, I'm a purpose person. So whatever I want to go and do over there for my master's or whatever,
you have to have a plan. Right?
There's a plan. Will it work in Nigeria? That's the thing for me. If I say, okay, I want to go in for music business now. Music business in Nigeria is right now is just there's no. I mean, outside the country, there's a clear line. Do you understand? If I hear this, what you are doing, this, but Nigeria, the public relations person is the one doing manager, is the one doing this one. So it's just there's no pattern, and it's not something. It's not a system where I would want to be.
So I mean, what are the factors? What is really leading to brain drain? I think I already said it's the system.
It's the system.
What else is happening? Are people scared? Because right now, Japa is at a high. Parents are calling me and saying, "I just want my child out of here, man." Parents that are children at 100 level, 200 level. They just want. So what else? What's
people
happening?
are scared. Like you talk to some clients. I've had some people call me, and then you can see the emotional. Jesus is Lord.
Yeah, I've had people kidnapped who we've sent abroad because I mean, once you have money, they're targeting. You can't travel from Lagos to Ibadan without feeling, So
there was a tweet.
So insecurity.
There was a tweet I saw where you said, "What's the moment you knew you had to leave this country?" And someone quoted and said, "Their house was on fire in Ikeja, and fire service came without water."
Nah, that one has happened. At my age, I've seen that happens regularly.
I would buy my ticket and leave the next day. That's scary.
Why did they show up?
Why did they come?
To fetch water from well?
I feel like I feel like you're about to start something because what was that thing that somebody just said he bought for 1 billion or 12 billion? Was it fire something? Was it fire truck?
Fire truck.
Do you know anytime I see
And
a
then
fire
that
truck in Lagos,
They now brought his colleague in the same party who bought a couple of just a year or two ago for about 18 million per truck. He got his own billions. We're waiting for them to reconcile because they'll soon tell us that Scorpion swallowed money.
anytime I see a fire truck in this Lagos, I'm like, this thing there, yeah.
Yeah.
And the truth is,
and the facilities are actually there.
I know. There are situations where I know fire trucks have worked. Do you understand? It's just that's your luck. Do you understand?
And
they are ready for you. They're ready for you.
Again, and this is probably why data is king, but we don't have the data. You can only have your experiences.
Fact.
I've been in an estate where fire was burning and all that, and at least for I don't know how many minutes that I was there, the firefighters didn't come, and they are not far from the estate.
Jesus.
Like it shouldn't have been that, so but we can't just poo-poo them when we don't have this statistics. Of course, unfortunately, we don't have any bureau that really works and gives us those stats where publicizes those stats.
There was this conversation on Twitter, whether if you earn above 700k monthly, would you Japa? And everybody said the same thing we're saying here. It's not about the money, it's about the system. Because it's your 700,000 naira per month now. God forbid your child is sick and you're in traffic because the road is bad. Your 700k cannot save you. Your child is gone at that moment. So it's the truth is the major factor is the system.
And that brings us to the trending news of the proposed medical bill. I mean, I don't know. Do we know the name of the guy? Okay, what's not the guy sponsoring that bill? Okay, it's in the second reading just passed. So when we were planning to record today, we're going to record for Easter and whatnot. I didn't know that the senator in charge of the chairman of the committee in charge, I didn't know he was going to talk. So he has sort of killed my morale because he sort of assured us that if that bill comes, but we still didn't talk about it. Again, we know that it's a problem, but again, a terrible way to go about the solution. What do you think, Eunice? Like, we know they have a problem. And the funny thing is, Eunice was telling me yesterday, the UK everybody is running to. People are running from the UK out of Australia. This movement has been, absolutely. Immigration has been since as far as Abraham.
Jesus. Yes,
Abraham.
Abraham before Jesus. Yes.
So they will continue to. So what do you need to do? You say you want to suspend their license, or what did he say? He was going to hold for 5
years of practice.
The band on Twitter now, people are now saying, okay, why are you so hell bent on attaching this to just the medical practitioners?
Because
we have accountants, we have tech people, we have other people from in fact, lecturers. We have lecturers. The president of ASU was crying some days or some months back.
I don't know how many of his professors Japa.
There are a lot of lecturers that have actually left the country.
My guy projects so Japa.
Let's not laugh. It's actually not funny. It's actually not funny.
Let's not forget.
It's causing a lot of damage.
But that's not about banks. Nigeria gives you a lot of pain. It gives you a lot of hope. There's no way you will not laugh. So don't let me.
I was watching an interview. During the strike, I was listening to an interview. They brought in 2 students of Unilag, and they were talking about this thing. And the students were talking about, one was like, oh, she's for 3 years now, she's been in 100 level. And the interviewer laughed. And she was like, why you? No, this is my reality. Why you laughing?
Why you laughing?
That interviewer is not serious.
But why you go there 100 level 3 years? And let me say, you never write exam, you never feel.
So, Eunice, what do you think? How can the government influence brain drain? Because for me, the way I see it, if you ask me, you need a working government to even influence policy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The elections, it just seems like every episode right now would sort of just reference the recent election, but the election cycle just ended. You have a small percentage of, LP having some seats in the National Assembly and a couple of 1-1-1 here for other parties. PDP still has the major minority, and then APC remains the majority. Now, the problem is that, and I'm pretty sure it's not that APC I'm sure it's not that they don't have sound people. It's just that the system is rigged to favor a certain amount of people.
Yeah.
And it's funny because while we're on this matter, there's so much promise that came for us, particularly in the faith through the VP when they came initially. And boy, am I disappointed.
His hands are tied.
Definitely.
Allegedly.
You.
Allegedly.
So what do we do? What can the government do right now? Because for you, in my opinion, what I'm simply saying is that for you to do anything, your government has to be interested in working.
But let's be realistic. This building did not surprise me, because usually when there's a problem in Nigeria,
they react.
The solution is always
reactionary. They don't respond.
They
don't know how to respond. They don't know how to think and respond.
They don't listen.
They don't listen.
And
I don't think they sit down. Like, I used to imagine that these guys actually form a round table and sit down and say, let's think of this issue. And then they now come up with...
No. They see things from their comfortable, point of view.
To be honest...
Where their comfort is, that's where they see things.
Can I tell you something? I was with a friend. We were having lunch the other day. And she walks in. Well, she used to work in the house. And I asked her, I said, oh, how many people is was your former boss entitled to? So basically, in a state level, maybe they are entitled to like 4 or 5 people. And at federal level, they probably entitled to the same. And when they have projects, they're also entitled to people, I'm guessing, right? So it's not that they don't have sound people around them. Because we've worked for somebody who actually was working for one of the top senators before. So I know that they employ the best. So is it that they don't listen to them?
No, they clearly don't. They only use them when they need them.
Because Eunice, imagine you now, your first class, working for a senator. So it's not that we don't have. Even the senators are brilliant. A lot of them went to school. So is this what is the problem?
When you get there as a brilliant person too, when you see how their models of operandi use, you move.
So are you saying National Assembly self is brilliant?
Yeah, so wait, when me I have worked with the government before briefly, and like there are smart people there, you know, that have been there for let's say 8 to 10 years. Well, and I just day to day, I just in the like what, you don't even know that that's smart. You have conversation. Anything goes, man.
As much as working or being in the workforce is more about your skills and what you can give. There's actually the emotional part of it. If I feel like
if you're not a good person, you're not a good person.
If this thing is breaking me down mentally or emotionally, and I'm coming to work, I'm not even happy to give my best.
I think this conversation. Conversation runs deep because me, I have this belief, I have this perception that the Nigerian civil service, both at state and federal level, is not rated. People don't rate the civil service, so they really just be taking in people. Whether you're smart, you're not smart.
They actually think there's this idea that civil servants are poor.
Yeah, exactly. Poor, lazy.
But it's always also funny because we know for a fact that the best hospitals are the government-owned hospitals. So it's really very funny. So, and you know, the reality is that probably we just need to discuss right now. So what would our own solutions be? Because I'm not the kind of person that like to talk about problems. It's a podcast and we have to talk about what's happening. But what then will be a solution? Because first of all, should we even just list out the problem? So let's go. Strike is your first problem. Lecturers being underpaid is the second problem. Facilities being old and out of date is another problem. The government even being interested in those facilities and in the education sector. Okay, what do we have? What's the Harvard stats? How much does Harvard have in commitments? Then how much does Nigeria even put in the education sector in the budget, both at the federal and state level? I did that in school a couple of weeks ago. I did it in school a couple of weeks ago. My brother is less than 15 or 20%.
I think it's at 50%.
State and federal level, by the time you aggregate it. So you have that. What else are we lacking in our country? You seem to have a people, like the essence of House of Rep, House of Assembly, senators is to support the constituents and do things that help them. And I just feel like these guys don't do anything.
They just
share money.
Sit down.
You know, and now is the obedient movement. Now there's the NSAS movement where the youths are like, no, enough of that. When you go there, you're supposed to work for everybody. Instead, all your children are abroad.
Crazy.
And while this bill is being sponsored, you killed a bill that was sending your people abroad. You didn't want to keep your people here. We put you there, you stole a mandate. And you don't want to allow our own people, your flesh and blood, you don't want to allow us to eat well. You don't want to take care of our farmers. You don't want to allow us to breathe well. You don't want to take care of the environment. You don't want to give the doctors the best education. You want your people to die.
And yet you still don't want them to go to where they will get those benefits.
So make it make sense. So the question is, what is the solution? Because the reality is that if the only solution that I'm thinking about, you've got to put better people in National Assembly and hold them accountable.
If we're to go deep into this thing, it's still part of slavery mentality.
That accountability is
cultural. Do we call it? Is it cultural?
I don't even know.
I think it's cultural. I think it's part of our culture.
Because slavery will be misunderstood. I think it's cultural.
That's what I'm saying.
Because if you question, if you go on Twitter and you question a politician, you see people in the replies like, "Oh, respect your elders." Yeah, but bro, you just trying to make him accountable. It's simple. If you don't hold these people accountable, bro, they will continue doing their thing. And that's how we know. Yes, I had an argument with my mom a couple days ago. And I was clearly on the winning side. Do you understand? The next thing she said is, well, Nigeria is not there yet. When are we going to be there?
And the reality is that, you know, what then will be the solution? Me and you go into the world level, we make our leaders accountable from the local to the state to the federal level. what else do we do? What other solution? And that's probably because I'm not in the medical field, right? I'm not a politician. I don't have all the data. I have an idea that if something doesn't work from the very root of the matter, there's no point in anything that I say. So I can give you guys brilliant solutions, but the reality is that our leaders have to be interested in us. You have to be interested in sending money into the health sector, into the education sector. You need to give the best people to do the best things instead of giving to your friends or your own, your what's it called? Your side companies or your sister companies, or through somebody who's going to give you a kickback. Because that's really where the problem is. So the question is it that they don't think?
They're not interested.
Or they're not interested?
I think they don't understand what servant leadership is yet. Yes.
Do they understand what leadership is?
They teach us that in Babcock. Shout out to Babcock University, servant leadership.
Everybody's plugging their universities.
I
listen to you.
They really do not know what servant leadership is, because it is very easy for them to say, oh, they actually earn a lot. With a lot, minus the allowances they get. It's easy for them to say, let's cut from our own budget. Let's put into this.
The funny thing is, they don't even need to cut from their own budgets. Let's say the first thing is that they are overpaid, and they determine how much money they make. So that they are overpaid. Now, you would take our money, go outside for what you need, education, health, and fun. We, your people here, don't have good education, fun, or health.
And we're not taking your money, we're taking our money.
Now, you have a budget. You borrow money to fund your budget. You steal most of that money. You don't do the projects. Because really and truly, if we begin to talk about what we need to do as solutions, there's no point if the system is rigged to fail. And most of you will say, I went to Harvard School of Policy. Like right now, that thing is a scam. That's why I'm telling you that even going to school and having all this program, it doesn't make any sense to me. Because, like she said, servant leadership, your heart, if you don't have a good heart, then there's no point. It
all stems from
the heart. They are doing these things, and now they don't even have, before you, if we go pots, one go steal meat, or those days we don't come and steal. If my mom see meat, we'll say, I went to go and take meat from my mom's pot. He's stealing, right? Even now when you go don't let them see. Don't let them see.
No, it's in the open.
Now, Nigerian politicians don't care.
Fact.
And I don't want to drag people, but we know that there are criminals that have been convicted in our house in the National Assembly. There are people who have done shady businesses.
There's someone that left prison last year and wanted to run for president.
What?
Yes.
Facts.
So let's not even talk. So there's so much, but then you have the effrontery to say you want to suspend licenses because you have the access to fly your family or yourself abroad.
Well, the funny thing is that what that will do is that naturally people will want to be going outside of the country to now do their undergrad, because they want to dodge,
get their license outside.
Yes, they want to dodge that 5-year thing.
But how many people can afford?
That's the problem. The ones that can afford
wait. Now we're saying how many people can afford this. We're forgetting that there are a lot of countries who are watching. There are a lot of countries already giving scholarships.
That's
you know what they do?
Yes.
That's what they do. They watch and they see what's going on, and they see the opportunity.
Until COVID now, nobody wants to go there.
Yeah, China, they see the opportunity,
Korea,
and then
Japan,
they take.
For a long time, they've been doing scholarships for Nigerian students and other sub-Saharan African students, and take advantage.
We already have the UK giving scholarships,
and our people are brilliant. What does? If I speak, some people, Igbo people in Lagos, they speak English, Yoruba, Igbo. It's not hard to learn language now.
It's
once
true.
you put your mind to it, particularly when you're desperate. Ni hao.
And we're all desperate.
Not K-drama.
No, it's not K-drama. I was taught Chinese in secondary school.
Really?
What secondary did you?
No, let's not start that. But me and you can stand on that.
Let me shout out my secondary school.
They're not paying us. We are not paying us. We can do that for our universities because
Are you sure it's Chinese?
Yes. We started that when I was in SS1.
I did French now. I did
French. I did Igbo, Yoruba, French. What did you do?
I did Yoruba and French.
So I'm better than you. Did you do French?
I didn't do it.
Did you
I did it in
Chinese?
junior secondary school.
If you don't do Chinese, you're not.
English is number 1, number 2, you're number 3. That's the idea.
I did English.
I did English. It's funny though, when we were growing up, we had schools. There's a school in Lukweju that time. One of my friends, when we left primary school, he went there. They did German. I know 2 German words. I don't know if I can pronounce Kukoschreiber, Bayer or something. Yeah. It's very funny languages.
My primary school they used to do, but it wasn't compulsory.
I mean, let's just plug in that I think Finland right now, by 7, most of their children they speak 3-4 international languages. Yup.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
but
again,
what's the official?
education
Do they
policy?
speak English in Finland? Is English official?
It's not, no, Finnish.
Oh, so they have their own language.
Yup, Finnish.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's really does it. So, I mean, the importance of losing medical professionals, I mean, we're suffering, and people are dying.
I mean, let's be realistic. Even with the doctors here,
yeah,
is the medical system
is it working?
Is it working?
So yeah, that's the problem now. So your doctors are underpaid. If you're underpaid in what you do, you're not happy. But if you don't have a choice, because that's where you get your benefits, you get to give your family, you just adapt. So your heart is bitter. So we go to the hospital, somebody is sick, they tell you to just sit down and wait, and you wait hours. My friends told me they went to the hospital and they were there for hours. And I'm like, well, that's welcome to Nigeria. The question is, if you cannot afford to pay for the private ward, if you do private ward in Nigeria, you can be out of then, you can get to see a doctor in an hour. If you don't do private ward in a federal hospital in Nigeria today, you may wait 7-8 hours. Jesus. In a state hospital, they'll treat you if you're an emergency. They'll just do what they need to do until you get what you need to do. So again, you may talk about the oath they take and all that, but then as somebody who is also a businessman and who has worked for people, I understand that if you do something you love and you're not well paid, the love can only do so much.
Yeah.
It can only do so much.
I saw a tweet. The guy said he has an uncle that's a doctor and they lost a patient he works in a government, so they lost a patient in the hospital, and the uncle was broken for weeks because what could have saved that person's life was
one small thing that
they didn't have,
and they'll tell you to go and buy it.
Yeah,
and then when you get there, you want to queue. If you do transfer, it doesn't go. They won't allow you. Like, I mean, we had an experience in the office recently, and it was terrible because they wrote, and I'm like, I was livid. And I mean, I think sometimes, and that's the thing about privilege, right? Is that when you see your own person in pain and you know that like you cannot spend the money, you don't want to deal with a lot of nonsense. And I mean, it's not just medical professionals. If you talk about those the banks are losing the tech guys, the fintechs and other companies are losing the tech guys. Like my friend works at one of the biggest payment processors in Africa or in the world, here in Nigeria, and they are losing. My friend that was those new recruits is now like the highest, like the team lead, because all the team leads don't all the transfer team leads have
banks that used to be very picky with how they employ people. They are now employing people
in my former company, like not every 2 weeks I don't turn team lead because people I meet for day they don't job. Now the reality is that if you're in an organization that works, the organization may not feel it, because supporting young people to go abroad or do what they love and all that's fine. I mean, you know me now, I'm all for that. Yeah.
But then the country is the one suffering, because the system ought to be working for everybody. And that's not happening. So let's segue into other Twitter bans. Eunice had this Easter bans that was trending. What was that? Easter? You had this Easter ban that you were talking about, that was trending about the.
You know how people like to jump on celebrations and all, and then they like to take pictures, professional pictures and all. So somebody sit there and said, why person go they take Easter photo shoots? Shane, are you right? Don't be you right from the dead now. Why they take Easter photo shoots?
I mean, that's Easter for you. Easter is really about his reason now, so that's that. But I have something to get off my chest, because
Dun.
you know, it's funny because I've been a consultant now for like 10 years, and
now you're the king.
Nah.
No ladder.
Now I'm the king, right? Now I know, like, you know, I can confidently say I'm the best. Like, you do an ad where you see companies talk about, oh, our soap is the best and all that. I can confidently say, like, I'm the best, right? Not just by making myself feel good, but by track record, right? And by awards and whatnot. But the problem with social media, like, I really have a bone to pick with social media. Because with social media, every Tom, Sheon and I don't know if I should say Nkechi. Amaka. They think
you're not serious. You're not serious.
They think that because you are either Gen Z or a millennial and you actually stayed on the app while you let me tell you something funny about
Twitter fingers.
I really hope this is not taking the wrong way, but while you were tweeting, I was making money. So because you think you have 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers,
kind of life. Calm down.
and you are paying for Bluetooth.
They are paying for Bluetooth.
You have left the country.
6K per month.
So kudos to you. And if you do sponsored ads and whatnot, I will likely pay you to sponsor my content. But don't misconstrue that for thinking you know anything or you are somebody.
It's not my Bluetooth.
Because they call them grifters.
Grifters, right?
Yes.
Then the ones that left Nigeria and then have masters or PhD and all of a sudden they become overall best agents. And then they begin to talk about agents. I remember I'm like, first of all, I'm not an agent because from the very beginning when I started consulting, I'm a consultant. I'm not an agent. You don't see me on the road. You have never seen me on the road. So because you are now in Canada or you are in Europe or in US,
they feel like they are better.
You think you are the best.
Or they are more knowledgeable than you.
Again, just about the bill we're talking about. Yes, our system is sort of corrupt where people get duped and nothing happens. Yes, but there are still good people doing these things.
Doing good work.
And they're doing great work. Good work is, I'm doing great work. I'm putting in the work. So you just categorize every agent and say, agent scam. Because the other day, I think like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, I saw some people posting about some lady who does this scholarship thing. So people paid 400,000, 500,000, says that like 10 or 20 in a class. That's your silliness. Because I don't want to call you stupid, but that's your silliness. Why are you paying somebody for something because they've put picture that they are there?
They're there.
You didn't pay 15K. In fact, tell your team lead, we collect 50K for consultation. I'm increasing it. You didn't pay 50K for consult. You didn't pay 100K for a session. You paid 400, 500K. You are now crying that you didn't get scholarship. Why are we not realistic? If you know there, you don't get the results. You cannot get scholarship. And if you cannot get, you go on Google this thing. Okay, can I get a scholarship? Read yourself.
Actually.
Then you want to pay 500,000. You're not making noise. So then all these grifters or whatever you call them, all these blue tick, all these I have plenty followers, I'm sending scholarship and all those nonsense. When Moments with Brain was doing scholarship, where were you people? People who were doing it selflessly and helping people. So you now believe that you are now, you are forming group, you are doing WhatsApp, you are doing Twitter space. Who are you? Because you have blue tick and you have followers. And what is it about following today? Just like Jesus and like anything, we follow football. Why do we follow football? Why do we follow Man? Why do you follow Man? Why do I follow Chelsea? You follow what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Even if I can't do it, but I can follow somebody and just follow. Doesn't mean you shouldn't have sense. So you've got followers who likely do not have sense.
Let's tone it down. See.
No, continue, please.
So you now tag all agents. That all agents do your due diligence. And that's why I tell you, when you come to our office, while you are interviewing me saying, "Oh, why should you work with the lady or my Japa?" I want to interview you.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Actually,
By the time, because a lot of times it's when we submitted the visa, we realize that the students even provided a fraudulent document. Because I can verify that. Yeah. Do we go on Twitter and say all students are the same? So, and then me, if I'm going to do clickbait, I will put my chest. My name is Oladipo. I'm the king of Japa. I'm the best in doing anything that has to do with immigration, particularly for education. That's what I've been doing now for 10 years. Right? If you want to work with me, you pay premium. I'll put my chest ahead of. The only thing is that I'm not interested in social media. Or I have before now. Of course, now you have plenty Gen Zs that you have around you. You don't have a choice. It has become a necessity.
You must.
You wait us from here, enter. Even if you get the money, all of now, everybody don't get YouTube page. How to get into Canada without agents.
We save day for YouTube.
We save now don't do YouTube. But it's really frustrating because almost every day there's a tweet about all agents. So people now come to you. When people have now referred you, I know the worst thing is people have now referred you and I say, somebody scammed me 1 million. I said, come and collect your money back. I said, I signed the document.
So penalty law.
I attended a master class. They promised me they were doing it free. They collected 450,000. all your big let me not restrain me. All your big agents with their we do free. We do free. You don't have to pay for. See,
some people actually come to us with that mindset.
Yeah,
that
and
don't you to free?
Oh, scholarship. Oh, I thought you people were doing scholarship. Then they will not be giving explanation. Oh, I am this, I am that.
Why are we not?
I would like to get this scholarship. Like,
I don't want to go too far. That's why we have the government. That's why we have the government.
We help you apply.
That's why we have the government we have, because it's really terrible.
But is there like a regulatory body for
internationally? I mean, we mess with ISEF. That's like the international body. The one they tried to do like in ASEF in Nigeria, in Africa a couple of years ago. That didn't work. Like most things, just like we have ECOWAS and the AU, those things don't really work. So if you don't go and verify, if you don't look for, like the least you can do is testimonial. I mean,
but the boy is setting fire.
Before you get a haircut, if I see your nice haircut, what do I say? Oh, who cut your hair? I like the way it was cut. What do you think about the person? Right? Now, if you want to make your hair, it's the exact same thing. Why don't you look for a testimonial? Verifiable testimonial. Now you can't begin to drag all agents. So when me I come enter space, what's your we have a webinar coming up, right? Where we are saying you want to go to Canada for for education and whatnot, come and pay 50,000 for that, and that I'm even charging small money. For someone who has an RCIC, who's an agent of the commission, I could be charging it for $150. Okay, pay 50,000. Because what happened was, in the last couple of weeks, we ran this ad. A lot of people saw, and I've been denied visa 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And I'm like, before you apply the first time, you should already know that, oh, I have 50% chance, 60% chance, 70% chance. And so when people apply with us, we say, your chance to go this place now 50-50. How did you do 3 applications, 4 applications? You now come to me. Then me, I'm now the sacrificial lamb that will be the 4th rejection.
People are very lazy.
We're lazy.
Very lazy.
When we do visiting visas, we help people. Oh, you have a plug to do this. Some I'll tell them, this is how much we charge you. If this thing doesn't, if we can't get it for you, return your money. That's integrity.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be about. I don't want to talk much today.
Most people, the reason why they fall into these hands and then they get involved in things that are not legit, because they've not done the groundwork of knowing.
Just do simple basic research. Like it's funny because in other things they do that research. There's no woman that cooks and wants to eat good food who does not do research. Do we just go to the market? My mom was a caterer now. I go market tire in the first 20 years of my life. I know you will see the way they will be analyzing it. Those same kind of people come to your office and they will tell you they've been scammed. I remember, I'm like, this woman looks less like my mom. When they go to the market, they don't just buy Maggi. So why didn't you do due diligence? Then they will say things like, oh, it was my friend that recommended. You know what I mean?
Sorry, let me shake one table. The only thing that they will carry is how to come and negotiate the price.
Any other thing on processing, concern them.
Let me just cool it off here. Because I'm livid.
Oh my god.
So I mean, it's a podcast. But it's a podcast sponsored by my Japa Limited. So we do have services we render. And I mean, it only makes sense to also use the last couple of minutes today to just really talk about what we have going. So Eunice, immigration related stuff. I mean, everybody needs to know now that you want to work with an agent that is trusted, come to our office or reach out to us one way or the other. What do we have? What are the things we can do for people with my Japa? Because I mean, Eunice handles a lot of what we do there.
Okay.
What do you have? What do we have that people can be interested in?
So the biggest thing we have right now is Canada immigration.
Yeah.
And I find out a lot of people are interested, but they are not so keen on making a decision. You say you want to move to Canada with your family, PR, but yet to make that decision of, let me start now, and then PR and time.
Yeah.
They're like against each other.
And some of them that reached out to me 2 years ago, they are still in Nigeria. When you tell them that do PR, they won't do PR. They will now with 2 years, they are still in Nigeria.
They're still in Nigeria. So if you're interested in PR, Canadian PR, it is a quick thing.
I think we should also simplify for them that it's not just that it's a quick thing or any of. I mean, the timeline for PR right now is like 6 to 12 months, right?
Yes.
But you must also be able to tell yourself the truth. Just like I was saying a couple of minutes ago, is that not everybody can go to school, either because you cannot afford it or you don't have the right documentation. Not everybody can do PR. Now, with Canada, their immigration, they have about 80 plus immigration policies. You can go permanent residency through the federal or skilled or unskilled. You can do temporary residency to provincial family sponsorship, provincial nominations, Atlantic province, pilot, rural. So they have so many policies that you can jump on.
They have for farmers, they have for
agreed,
a lot of people.
So instead of you to, I know the funny thing about this our business though, is the story people that don't do research, Isaac. I think it's because PR is long and the money is not so the money is not so needed at the beginning.
Yes.
The study people now does they drop money because if they did the same thing that people do for PR when they come to us, most people that come for us for PR, they don't already read about them. So some don't do them for 1 year. You know. So if you want to do this thing, whatever is worth doing well. Just reach out to the people who can do it, who have a track record, you know, and they can help. What else do we have? I mean, summer is coming, visiting visas. You want to get to the US, you want to get an appointment. I won't say that. If you want to get into the US for summer, we can help you. You want to get to the UK,
we can take
Schengen,
you to the Bahamas.
we can take you anywhere you want to go.
Isaac, which one are you going?
Me?
Where are you taking me for summer?
Okay. This
Take me
podcast
somewhere
has
for
quickly.
summer.
Maybe we'll discuss after the podcast.
Isaac, I'm smelling broke.
Can you end this podcast? We'll fight. Just end this podcast. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Kenya is.
I'm not going to Kenya.
In fact, EP is on the go. Israel. It's like 400k.
Is it my Mykonos? I've been Mykonos. What do you call it? In Greece. Let's go to Greece.
Santorini.
Yeah, we'll go to Santorini. Wherever you want to go. Your choice.
I'll think about it.
I think Greece is a Schengen country now. Is it?
Why are you doing
fact
this?
Check. Okay, you don't fact check anything for us to do.
Why are you doing this?
What was this? What was it on Harvard?
Yeah, so
because Greece is
university annual budget is about 3 times the total educational budget of Nigeria from primary to university.
From primary to university level, 3 times.
Sorry, I
for one institution.
And Honorable Ganyu Johnson proposed the
bill.
What I'm sure is it not? Oh, sorry, you already said that. what part of Nigeria is it from? Is it APC or PDP? I'm sure it's APC.
I think it's APC.
What conference is it from? Because I mean, we're still trying to get your people. We're trying to get your people to go to school. You are here proposing suspension of license. Let's be factual about these things. Well, I think Greece is one of the 27 Schengen countries, right? So Isaac, if you want to go Schengen now, you can't.
Yes,
have you ever been abroad? Because you have to do UK visa first. So
say Ghana count.
No, Ghana no count. So
I remember it is
South Africa count.
If you want carry you go Greece now.
We should count for abroad.
Or I think UK particular UK visa. So you go first do UK visa. Then transit.
She can run in our UK visa.
She can run it now. That's what she does.
But I took you.
Is it not all our benefits? I don't understand.
But before I go, we go do wedding now.
No, we feel go as friends now. Besties.
No.
You know it's not my bestie.
So you already speaking wedding. Who paid bride price on my head to real long?
After the podcast.
What is wedding?
After the podcast. I'm excited to have a wedding this weekend. My sister is getting married this weekend.
Are you
excited? Yes.
Am I invited?
No, you're not.
No. I'm supposed to bring a +1.
No, you're not. His wife is his +1. Should be.
Is he by invite?
Your
Go to my boy Mogomuya now. You say no be Nigeria. Now Lagos even dey now.
Yeah.
I want to. But anyway.
All right. So I don't know. Is there any other latest news? Okay, have you confirmed what other thing?
I don't do that, man.
What other thing do we
I
have?
don't even go outside like that. So.
Really?
I mean, I go to where I'm invited. I don't.
You go out.
What do you do for fun?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
He likes to stay out till late at night.
Why are you doing this on the pod? Why are you doing this? How do you know? Who told you?
I'm going
to
cut this out and send
my spirit told me.
Where's your waka? What do you waka to?
I like to.
Is Aruz? I'm blaming Aruz on that.
Funny enough, Aruz is an inno person.
Yes,
funny enough. How do you know this?
How does Eunice know all these things? You who spend so much time offline talking.
Because all your outings is not with him. So I know he's...
Okay, yeah, we haven't gone out this year.
Exactly.
Right.
Can you see?
Yeah.
I think this is a good place to put a bow on our episode today. I don't know if what do I go to tag the rants of the king of Japa. I don't know what I go to tag it, but my name remains Oladipo Adebowale, the king of Japa. Isaac and Eunice again, my co-conspirators.
Basically.
We'll see you on the next episode of the pod.
Zero.
We have more guests coming. We have more guests coming.
Yep.
We have more episodes coming. Share, like, subscribe. Good.
Comment.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.